to turn my attention to the upcoming Safety Services Levy. Quite frankly, I've reviewed some bad information on social media and through emails. I fielded calls from residents regarding the levy, and I do my best to answer their questions and make sure they understand what this levy is and what this levy isn't. This levy is a replacement levy. If the levy passes, it replaces the current 4.0 mil continuous levy that's collecting at 3.05 mils that's currently in place. This levy ask of 6.5 mils is not added to the 4.0 Safety Services Levy, it replaces it. Yes, there is an increase. That's the most common question that I've gotten. The amount of the increase is $120.75 per 100,000. That's the number. We've published that number. We have put that number out at the stakeholder meeting as well. That information is on our website. We have never hidden that fact. Some have said we are being slippery about the levy. Discussions on this levy go back to July, when lengthy discussions were held during trustee meetings, and they're on the record and available for viewing on the township's website. The information about a slush fund is absolutely false. We, meaning the trustees, the fiscal officer, and administration, along with fire department leadership, we've spent hours doing a careful evaluation in order to determine the correct and appropriate amount, determining the financial needs for fire, EMS, and policing services going forward. I'm happy to discuss this levy, review this levy with anyone, and our township finances. Mr. Technic and I met with a resident yesterday for an hour, going over township finances because they had questions. We're happy to do so. I encourage residents to contact any of us if you have questions and or concerns, and we'll be happy to address them. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rose. Yeah, I think that hits on some of the things that we've had to explain out in the community. Additional comments?
Yeah, I'll start out. Thank you, Mr. Rose. And I think we've done a good job as the board of trustees. I know we have an obligation and duty as good stewards of the township to keep people informed and be transparent. And what we said is it comes down to a level of service. We want to sustain the current level of service that we have between our fire and our police. And to do that, we have to put this levy initiative up on the ballot and give our residents the opportunity to decide what level of service they want. This is not, none of these funds will be used for Fire Station 2. That has been some of the information that has been circulated throughout the township. This money is not going to be used for Fire Station 2 construction. This money is for bodies, it's for personnel, police officers, firefighters, and operations, so that they can safely serve the residents of our community and keep the level of service that we currently have.
Yeah, I believe we were very thoughtful in our decision to ask for a replacement for additional funding. We've had the same revenue stream for 8 years, and our financial records show that it's not going to sustain our services for fire and police in the foreseeable future. The financials are there, anybody can look at them. We're not trying to hide anything or have any kind of fund outside of that. But I thought, we tried to come up with other ways that we could fund these services, and this was our best decision. We thought it was a very thoughtful decision because we are fully committed to being responsible for the safety and welfare of our community. I mean, we want people to move here, we want businesses to be here because it's a safe place to live and to have a business. So I don't think it's a good idea right now. It's not in our best interest to defund police or fire. We would have to make cuts, and I don't feel that that's right for Concord Township.
Yeah, I agree with all of it. We talked about this multiple times. I mean, going back to 2021 when we agreed to take on the COPS grant and increase our patrols with the deputies in response to the increase in crime that we saw. We we've talked a bit about how we use the CARES Act money and the ARPA money to support that, and we've been getting by very lean the last few years, as that levy's not been adequate for a bit, but we've been making the best, making do the best that we can. We've gotten to that exhaustion point. And we talked a lot about it this summer. Incidentally, there have been seven news stories between News Herald, Lake County Gazette, and the various local entities that have covered it. We've discussed it in multiple, again, a running conversation over the last 2 years, a very regular conversation the last several months, and we've been on social media talking about it. We've done press releases. We have a stakeholder meeting. We're doing a second stakeholder meeting. We've been very transparent, showing financials, showing cost of things during the stakeholder meeting. We're not trying to hide anything. We are here, and I know this is trying times for everybody with the costs. Unfortunately, the township, we have the same inflation. We're experiencing it ourselves, and I do believe, you get the whole, we're seniors and this and that, and I understand, I really do appreciate that, but I think in the same breath, that's really what we're thinking of. We have a community that needs a responsive fire department, and without that, without this levy replacement, we aren't gonna be able to meet that need. So, thank you, Mr. Rose, for bringing some of that up and helping straighten out the record.
Thank you, sir.